Good Monday morning, everyone. Um, so, you know, I really have found that I enjoy going live on Monday mornings because I think it gives us such, or at least it gives me, such a positive way to start out the work week. And so I know sometimes I've done them later in the evening and sometimes I've done them earlier, but I think this time frame works out it just goes well with a positive way to start like the work week for me. And I know some of you work on Sundays, and that's church day and kind of a day of relaxing for Sam and I. Um, so I hope that um, if you are able to join us on Monday mornings, that you are entertained by my Monday morning show. So I am starting out the morning. I actually have a brand new coffee that I'm trying, and by brand new I mean it's been sitting in its box for like 6 months. Sam bought me triple. It's from Great Value, which is Walmart. Um, Triple chocolate coffee, and I haven't tried it because it's one of those that at least in my brain, it needed a creamer to go with it, and it needed the right creamer. And I hadn't stumbled on it yet. And I shared with you last week that Sam and I had gotten some coffee creamer at the grocery store. He got pumpkin spice, and I had this white chocolate creamer from Starbucks. And this morning, I'm like, you know what? That might be the one to pair well with that triple chocolate coffee, and it's fantastic. And that makes me really excited. So I've got coffee this morning. It is actually relatively cool this morning. Um, in the middle of the night, like yesterday, it's a typical fall weather for us here in Kansas, and it's cool in the mornings and it like blows up heat wise afternoon to evening, and then it drops in temperature again. And so we're kind of at a medium point in the house because the way our house sits, it either stays cold or it stays hot. There's no in between for our house. So we're either running an air conditioner or running a heater. And our house is relatively older, and we don't have central heating and air. We have air con- air conditioning units. You've seen it. Whoop, I'm over the wrong way. You can. I'm trying to show you. Okay, it's right there. It's got the window unit there, and then we have a floor furnace which runs on gas. That's in the corner of my craft area, which is all used to be the living room. And so it's either it's right in between needing both. So what we end up doing during that time of the year is we typically run the fans on the window units because it's still cool and it blows cool air, and then we use little space heaters to if it gets really cool, but we don't want to light the furnace yet because it's actually a process. We have to pull the grates, pull the inserts, make sure to vacuum all out the furnace. And then Sam has to take a long lighter like this and click a button on it and light the furnace. Um, and then we have to leave the windows open and lock Peaches with a put Peaches in a room with a fan, and I have to leave for a little bit because it burns off on the furnace, and it just gives me a headache. So Sam actually, if I'm working at the school, or we can go out and do something, Sam will typically do it. What we've done in the past, like the past 10 years, Sam has done this on Arts and Crafts Fair Day. Hillsboro has one of the top 10 arts and crafts fairs in the U.S., and It's always on the third Saturday of September. Well, with everything happening this year, they have chosen to cancel it this year. Which, I mean, everything's getting canceled. That's been canceled. The Kansas City Renaissance Festival has been canceled, which I am extremely sad about. Sam and I had ordered tickets for that, but they're honoring them for next year, so at least they're able to be used next year. Um, and he would light it, and I would be out of the house anyway because I was typically working. But that's not the case this year, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. If he's still going to plan to follow the same pattern, and we just maybe go out, I think, I always have to look. It's an in-between week for us. So what we might end up doing is we might end up maybe just going over and doing laundry at the laundromat. Again, our house is very old. It does not have washer and dryer hookups, even though we own a washer and dryer from when we were in the Army. So we have to drive 30 minutes to go to the laundromat. There's one over in we do laundry at my parents', kind of just a little bits and pieces. But if we want to do something like where it and we have to leave it because mom and dad don't have a dryer. If we want to dry something, we have to drive to the laundromat. And then it's like a 30-minute drive there, and it's probably like an hour to do laundry, and then 30 minutes back. So that if Sam takes care of the furnace, we get everything done, he lights it, we leave, that's 2 hours pretty much that it has to burn off, and typically that's all the amount of time it takes. So that's always an option. And I want to take a moment and say good morning to Mike Wheeler. Thank you for popping in, and I hope your doctor's appointment went well. Allergies are insane right now. It's between my emergency inhaler has been getting used quite a bit. And so between that and Benadryl, I feel like all I'm doing is taking Benadryl in my inhaler lately. So this morning, yesterday, okay, let me back up a little bit more. As you know, I didn't do a live stream on Thursday because I was doing a garage sale, and we did our garage sale Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and huge thank you to Sam for running the garage sale while I was in on the computer. I was invited to be part of the Spilling the Disney Tea 1-year anniversary. And so he ran the garage sale while I was in here doing that. And then Saturday, I did it from 7 a.m. to about noon. And at that point, we cleaned up about noon, and we went with my parents down to Wichita. And I want to say I love banking with Bank of America simply because their ATMs take cash. You can deposit cash at the ATM. I don't know if there's any other bank that does that, but I know that our bank with BOA does. So Mike Wheeler, welcome back in. I hope your vitals were good. At least, well, we know that you're at least breathing and walking, so you're good there. So we drove down to Wichita, and our bank, the branch that we go to is on North Rock Road because we drive down the interstate, we get off on the bypass, and we get off on Rock, and we drive 2 blocks from the exit from the overpass, and there's a Bank of America right on the corner, and there was a line of like 3 people, and I'm like, wow, a lot of people are going to the bank, and it's like at this point it's like 2 o'clock. And I'm like, wow, it's really busy at the ATM for 2 o'clock. Well, apparently the ATM, when you can deposit checks or you can deposit cash. And apparently the ATM shredded the lady's check that she went to deposit. So she was on the phone with Bank of America, and she turned around and said, "Hey, just letting you know, they're taking this ATM and the ATM that's catty corner, because over across the street and over, there's a freestanding Bank of America ATM in the Petco parking lot, but apparently they run on the same system, so they were taking both of those down so that they could send out a technician to fix the ATM and get the lady's check deposited." So I'm like, okay. So we we all go and have lunch, and we kind of did some shopping in Walmart, and we were driving up. My dad does not like the interstate. He does not like going any faster than he really has to. So yes, he's one of those that you're passing and grumping at the old man driving. And Sam was doing something on his tablet, and he goes, "Hey, there's a Bank of America ATM like 2 blocks down this road." And I'm like, "Oh, awesome," because I really wasn't feeling comfortable with running around with all the garage sale cash in my purse. And I used to sell Tupperware. And so I did like shows and events, and I had this change box from when I was doing events. And so that's what I used for my garage sales. My mother says I'm normal. My bios say I'm normal, but my mother begs to differ. That's funny, Mike. So we were able to get the ATM to ATM and get deposited. So that made me feel really good. Responding to a text message real quick. Um, so it was just comical that um it took so long to find an ATM, and you would think that you would be able to find an ATM on every corner. But in theory, you can. They just weren't the ATMs I was needing. So it just made it real. It made for a really funny, situation. Um, so in the midst of all this, while Sam and I have just when Sam was home, um, earlier in the year, it's so if you're new to the channel, we're in the middle of this weird pandemic thing going on. If you didn't know, and Hillsborough Industries, where Sam works, Sam is my husband. If you're new to the channel, um, he was only working Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so he was off literally Friday through Monday. And the first couple weeks, went on for like 2 months. The first week, he was like, "Hey, this is really nice. We can sleep in, da 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 da." And then he was like, "This is the most annoying thing ever." If you don't know my husband, he has to be doing something. He has to be working. He is not just a, "Hey, let's sit and watch, like, Ghost Adventures marathon all day." That's just not who he is. So we started doing spring cleaning. Originally, the thought was, "Hey, we'll have a garage sale during Citywide Garage Sale Day." Okay, sure, Mike. I'll be here for a while. Um, so we were cleaning and boxing and sorting and going, wow, this is broken. Why do we still have it? Spring cleaning that we hadn't really got an opportunity to do in several years because Sam working, me working, and if Sam's not working, he works like a 50 to 60 hour week. And so he just kind of wanted some downtime. Well, we had all this downtime to be able to do it in. So in my craft room, I had a path because all the boxes from garage that we were going to do the garage sale for were in my craft room because there was going to be a citywide garage sale. Then they said, no, we're not going to do citywide garage sale. Then they're like, yes, we're going to do citywide garage sale, but on a real, like, we're only going to do it for Saturday. But I mean, people could do garage sale, like their own garage sale longer. But the weekend that they had decided to do it on wasn't the original weekend. And we had already had plans for the weekend that they were doing it. So it's been sitting in my house. And 2 weeks ago, I looked at Sam and said, we're going to have a garage sale. And he looked at me and went, okay. And I said, I need this stuff out of the house. I'm falling over it. I'm tripping over it. I just want it gone. I want it out of the house. So originally the plan was to do it this coming weekend. So this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But when I was looking at the projected weather for the month, it showed that this coming weekend was going to be in the upper 90s to 100s, while this past weekend when we did it was supposed to be in the mid 80s all week. And I'm like, okay, if the way our house is positioned, and you can see it on my face, the sun comes straight up right in front of our house. So as you can see, I got some sun after 3 days. I was like the color of my tank red on Thursday. Thankfully, I had continued to apply sunscreen. And while I got red, it was mostly like I'm hot, not like, ouch, I can't move hot. So that was a really positive thing. The garage sale went really well. Of course, the first day you have your garage sale is always the best day because, at least in my experience, because everyone wants first dibs at what you've got. Then the second and third day kind of, taper down. And that's how it was. Thursday was fantastic. Friday was great. Saturday was and I think that's just because, and several people that were there on Thursday did come back on Saturday and it was like, hey, I had something marked at 5, like, would you take 2? And I'm like, yeah, take it back. I just want it gone. So today, I will be calling the thrift store because our thrift store only is accepting donations on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you have to make an appointment. Because they are isolating everything for 2 weeks before putting it into the shop. So I need to call them today after the live stream's over and make an appointment for tomorrow about 4:30 so that Sam can get off work. We can load all the leftovers into the truck and take them to the thrift store. We debated on keeping them until next April for Citywide Garage Sale Day, but that I'm like, let's just get it gone. Then we don't have to worry about it. I'm sure by April we'll have a whole nother, boxes for me to fall over, to be able to put in another garage sale. So I'm happy to have my space back. One of the things that I'm working on right now is I'm reorganizing and restructuring my craft space. I've been getting rid of things and moving things around, and just so that it's easier for me to um, almost that I have a separate YouTube space, which is kind of what this background is going to start becoming, is more like a get some sort of background going. And then what you can't see, across the way from me is an open wall that's going to have shelving space, and the side over that way is going to have a big shelving space. So it's just going to be a process of restructuring how I want everything to be set up. So I'm looking really forward to that. But while I was cleaning, and I keep trying to get back to this story, while I was cleaning, I found a box of Christmas cards that I had picked up at the thrift store last year. We had, before the fire where Howard passed away, I was working on Christmas cards and I had ran out. And Sam's like, well, we're going to have to pick up some more cards. And so I was wandering around the thrift store on my break, or my lunch break or something, or it was a day off. And I had found a box of cards and they were marked 89 cents. And I paid 89 cents for them, or I got them, they were color of the week and I paid half price. But I didn't know if it was a full box or not because it was all taped shut. And after everything happened last year, they just kind of got sat down in a box, and I didn't look at them again until we were cleaning stuff while Sam was home. And so when last night Sam and I were having dinner, and I was just kind of cleaning out a drawer in my craft desk here, and here's this box of Christmas cards. And I'm like, I don't even know how many are in here. So I counted them, and on the box it said there's 20 cards and 20 envelopes. And I'm like, there's no way they put a brand new box of Christmas cards for less than $1. Because even at a thrift store, I would expect to pay $253 for a brand new box. No, they put a brand new box at 89 cents. And they're absolutely adorable. This is the front. It's very, very country Christmas. I love the design of them. And this is the back. So it's like it follows this gingham onto the back. And inside, it's the wood grain from the front. And the top, it says, it has Psalms 92:4. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work, and at the works of your hand I sing for joy. And it doesn't say what version, if like it's New King James, NIV, but it just says it's the 90 Psalms 92:4. And then at the bottom it says, let us rejoice in the Lord and remember to give thanks for our abundant blessings this wondrous Christmas season. So, and I really liked the font. It was one of those boxes where it had the card on the front and you could flip it open and see what it looked like on the inside. So I was really excited that there actually were 20 cards and 20 envelopes. And this is what the envelopes look like. I spent last night kind of starting to work on things. It follows the same pattern as the card, and the back of it has a really pretty scalloped flap, and it's pretty shiny gold inside. So these are the cards that I'm going to start working on. I'm actually going to start working on addressing, and I'm going to get stamps, and I've got a little I've got a mail holder that's by our front door. I'm really trying to be organized. And I have put incoming, outgoing on it. And so I'm going to finish up Christmas cards that way beginning of November. Because, guys, you have to realize next week, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, next Tuesday is September 1st. And so literally that's like 2 months after this. 2 months from next Tuesday is the beginning of November. And so I want to send out Christmas cards beginning of November so they're done. Done. So these are going to be cards that go to family. And so I'm going to find a different style of cards that I'm going to send to like my YouTube friends. So if you would like to receive a Christmas card from me, I know this is August. I know you're probably going, Lena, what are you thinking? You have to realize that this is going to be a really, really odd, busy year for me. Um, I'm a substitute paraprofessional slash teacher's assistant at the school. And they have already kind of been letting me know that they can't fill all the positions for paras and TAs at the school. So they're going to need some subs to fill in spaces if they can't find anyone to take that job right away. So I may be subbing part-time, but Monday through Friday for like a month at a time. And so I have to be able to go, okay, what needs to happen between now and December? And make a list of that and say, okay, what can I get done now so that I don't feel like I'm stressed out between now and then? And one of those things that I can control is Christmas cards. So if you would like to receive a Christmas card from me, please message me on my Instagram. It's Life with Lena on Instagram. And I will add you to my Christmas card list. I love sending Christmas cards. I sent out tons of them last year. And I would love to be able to send out tons of them again this year. My phone keeps buzzing at me. I'm trying to figure out why. So one of the things that I know a lot of people have been doing with everything going on is they are coloring. Coloring is like making a huge comeback, especially when it comes to like adult coloring books. And I thought I would share with you today what adult coloring books I have, and then I want to color a little bit while we chat. So this one Sam bought for me in 2018 when we were going to Universal on our first trip. It's a Harry Potter coloring book. And what I think is so neat is in the back, they have like these colored posters that you can take out and like frame and put in your house. And then they have like artist sketches from the movies. Hopefully you can see. And then they have like production stills from all the different movies. So you've got Hermione over here, and you've got other ones over here. And so that's really cool. I really like that. And here's some other ones. So I've got this Harry Potter one. I've got Disney Princess coloring book. I have the hardback version of the Disney Villains coloring book before I started YouTube, which was only last year, which seems insane that I've only been doing this a little over a year now. I still was doing Weight Watchers Send the Love, and I received this as part of a Send the Love box a couple years ago. And then I also have this one. It's called Sweet Treats. I actually got this one at Dollar General. And it's not quite as complex as the art of coloring ones are. So, like, I mean, they have some that are a little bit more detailed, but nothing detailed like art of coloring is. Like, they have simple ones just like that, as opposed to where these are, look like this. So, if I want something to really focus on, I do one of my art of coloring. If I want something that's more I just want to color, I grab that, or I have other like regular coloring books. So I'm going to find me a page to color while we chat. I'm looking in my Disney Princess one right now. I like some of the ones that are just like, this is so complex to me. That's not what my brain wants to focus on right now. Because if I start on that, I will focus on that, and then I will be focused on chatting with you guys. And I'll be like, oh, hi, sorry, I forgot you were there. So I want something simple and fun. I've got a maybe. I'm still flipping through it. I don't color in these near as much as I probably should. I know it's a great way to kind of relieve stress. And I know that we're all stressed about something right now. So, oh, that one's pretty. That looks like that's a Merida. This is so many to choose from in these. And I just never know what I'm really in the mood to color. So I'm now just flipping through the whole book instead of starting in the middle. So today on the agenda, we did some laundry this past weekend. So I have laundry to hang up, fold, put away, all that fun jazz. I scooted you guys back, so I had to readjust my computer. And then yesterday, my dad made meatloaf for lunch. I kind of said it as a joke on Saturday. I'm like, so Dad, what are you making for lunch? Because typically on Sundays, we go over to my parents in the morning after church and meet up with Mom. And Dad will cook something like roast or meatloaf or something like that. And Dad kind of just laughed at me. And by the time we got home, or from Wichita, he had dropped us off at our house. He goes, I'm going to make meatloaf tomorrow. And I really had said it as a joke because he had just made meatloaf a couple weeks ago, and it actually wasn't a weekend that we were expecting to go over to Mom and Dad's for lunch. And Sam and I had already kind of been talking about what we were going to do for lunch. And lo and behold, Dad made meatloaf. And when Dad makes meatloaf, Dad doesn't make 1 pound meatloaf. One that would be gone, like with Sam himself. Dad made I think it was a 4.5 to 5 pound meatloaf. It went in the oven at 9. And I took it out of the oven at noon. So it actually cooked 3 hours. And it actually was still a little pink right in the very center. Like, not horribly pink, but just a little bit. And so we put it back in the oven for maybe another like 10 minutes. It was so good. My dad makes a great meatloaf. So this is what I decided to color. It's just kind of a little basic, maybe like a little flower. And I have tons of colored pencils. I just bought a new box of colored pencils with back to school. So this is like a 24 pack. And then I have this whole pouch full of colored pencils. I told Sam for my birthday, which is in like 16 days now, that I wanted a big 100 pack of colored pencils. And then I would just like donate these to the thrift store, and then someone else can use those, and I can have new colored pencils for my coloring books. And so he said, well, we'll see, maybe. So my birthday is on a Wednesday this year, and instead of doing a weight loss Wednesday video that day, I'm actually flip-flopping Wednesday and Thursday, and I will be doing a live stream birthday hangout on Wednesday, September 9th, starting at about 2 o'clock Central, and it'll go for a couple hours, maybe till about 4 o'clock. And anyone can come join, hang out for a little bit if you want. We'll just probably be just chatting, cutting up, having fun. If you want to work on like a craft project or something, you can. If you just want to chat, you can. If you just want to hang out in the chat, in the comments, and hang out that way with us, you are more than welcome to do that as well. It'll be fun. It's a great way to spend the day of my birthday. Get to hang out with everybody. In the past, I've gotten together with friends for lunch, but right now, with everything kind of up in the air, when I talked to several of the the gang that I've done that in the past. It's not something that they were real uh, quick to think was a good idea. So that's fine. And also for around here, that is actually the first day of school. Typically school would have started last week. I think it would have started 2 weeks ago. It would have started on the 14th. And so it's actually kind of it was pushed off about a month. And I know for some of you guys who are watching or watching in the replay, you may be going, wow, you guys start really late. But we get out like towards the beginning of May. And with starting later, I don't know how that's going to affect the school year. I know that typically we start school at 8:30, but they're bumping it for a start time of 8. And I don't know if by doing that, they are going to be ending the school year about the same time, because they've added in like 2.5 hours like a week. I don't know if that counts. If you didn't know, public school, you're required to have X amount of hours in class per school year. And so I don't know if they were able to say, okay, well, with moving it up to 8 o'clock, we can still get out about the same time, or if it's going to still run a little bit later. I don't know, because I'm a sub. I'm not privy to all that information. And at the moment, I'm sure that they probably don't know, because I mean, at any time, as far as I kind of understand it, they can go to fully remote learning, instead of having some students in remote learning and some in class. I don't know about where you guys are at, where you live, how schools work there, but I know here they have three to four options that they can do for school. There's fully in class, where like a typical school year, you go to class. The only thing that's different is like you may be doing a lot more outside. You don't eat lunch in the lunchroom. Yada yada yada. There is fully remote learning, where you're doing everything on the computer. However, it's nothing back in back in the spring, where the teachers kind of weren't prepared for what this was going to look like. And it was like, okay, well, what are we going to do? They've had all summer, and there's curriculums now that they're following for remote learning. They have to log in still at the same time, and they're pretty much being videoteched. Like, it's almost like they're going to school by Zoom, and they have to be in class at the same time as their classmates. They still have classwork that's due at the same time. Then there's hybrid learning, where maybe 1 week they're in class, 1 week they're on the computer, 1 week they're in class, or they go into class when they want to. They're at home when they want to be. And then there's what they call teen learning. At least that we have that here. It's fully online. It's a different system. They only have to be logged into their coursework 25 hours a week. Excuse me. And so, and they don't have to be on the same schedule as everyone else. So I know several people were choosing that option because they're like, well, we want to be able to have a little bit. It's pretty much homeschooling on a school type curriculum. And instead of having to come up with your own curriculum, it's a school curriculum, but you're not, like, maybe your kid really likes cooking, and so you can incorporate math into like cooking, and they get to do a little bit more hands-on that way. It's kind of a combination of homeschool and regular school more than like the remote learning is. Remote learning is pretty much they're in front of a computer screen and their teacher's on the other side. Like maybe I was teaching a class or something. So it's going to be an interesting school year for sure. So anyway, between the school year starting on September 9th and several people saying, no, we just don't feel comfortable, not being able to social distance well at a restaurant, like with people that we may not see all the time or interact with, because you can't really like eat with a mask on. So they're like, well, we're sorry, it's kind of, I mean, I get it, I'm an adult and I'm like, man, this stinks, let alone a kid who can't have their birthday party. So I am choosing to have a birthday party with all of you instead. I am just sitting here and coloring. It's a great way to spend a morning. It's a great way to kind of shake off those Monday blues. Spend a few minutes just kind of coloring, and I know I'm not going to finish this whole project today. When the live stream's over, I'll just slip this paper into my coloring book and put it back in my shelf over here on my craft desk, and then it'll be ready for the next time I live stream with you guys, and I will work on another part of it. It'll probably take me a few live streams to complete it, because other than that, I've got like housework and stuff to do. So that's what I've gotten done so far. I like to outline the piece kind of a little darker and then go back in and kind of fill it in, almost like I'm shading it in. It gives it, a little bit more definition than just coloring it in. That's how my mom always colored, was she outlined it a little heavier and then colored it in. Good morning, Jenny, JLB Nerdy. How are you doing this morning? Welcome in. Glad you are here. We are just kind of chit-chatting and talking about all kinds of different things this morning. Answering some messages. So, that's don't. I almost have to put on sunglasses right here. Otherwise, that still comes in right underneath that. And my nose itches so bad this morning. Any intel on Walt Disney World? I haven't heard about any resort discounts, but that doesn't mean that I haven't missed something. But I haven't heard of anything other than I know that there was a couple Florida resident discounts, but nothing for anyone else, because I know that they are they still aren't opening all of the resorts. So I kind of figured by now this isn't where I parked my car. Good morning, my Disney World Fix. Welcome in. Glad that you're here. And I'm sorry I don't know where you parked your car. I lost my valet license. So if I was supposed to know where your car was, oops, sorry. So I don't know if anyone else does this, but Sam and I will randomly buy gift cards. And I was going through a wallet before the garage sale. It's somewhere at the TTC. Well, then I would maybe get with security on that, because I'm sure if you tell them the license plate number, they will be able to help you find it. Sam and I were doing some cleaning, and I cleaned up the wallet, and I found a gift card. And I was like, oh, I wonder how much is on this gift card. There is 1 penny on this gift card. 1 penny. Why did I save a gift card that had 1 penny on it? Why? Why did I do that? I don't know. I do not know why I did that. But no, Jenny, I don't know. I have not heard of any other. Yes, it's got 1 penny on it. Aaron, it's all yours. 1 penny. I'm sure that will buy you nothing. Jenny, if I 1/10 of a breadstick, right? Right? It will buy you absolutely nothing. But I will share my Starbucks white chocolate creamer with you. Yum yum. There you go. Have some creamer. And the only thing that Sam and I tend to get at Domino's is their hot wings. I'm not a fan of Domino's pizza. To me, they're even when I ask for light sauce, it's like they dumped a can on it. And so the crust doesn't crisp. It's like this soggy wet every time. I have started checking my pizzas. The one time recently I got a pizza recently. And we were picking it up, and I looked at Sam and I go, I'm going to check this pizza. And we opened up the box, and the bottom of it, I kind of lifted a slice, and the bottom of the box was wet. And I said, I'm not taking this pizza. You're going to remake it. And the lady goes, what do you mean you're not taking this pizza? And I know I'm not going to remake it. And I said, look at the bottom of this box. It's wet. That's not what this box is supposed to look like. She's like, oh, it's just from sweat. And I'm like, one, my pizza shouldn't be sweating inside of a restaurant. And she's like, well, I'm not going to remake it. And I said, well, let me talk to your manager. And she's like, no. And I said, and the manager happened to hear her say no. And she comes up and goes, I'm the manager. Can I help you? And I said, look at this pizza box. And she's like, this is not supposed to look that way. And the employee goes, it's sweat. It's fine. She just needs to take it and go. And I said, I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not good. I will either you could either make me a pizza correctly, or I'm going to go somewhere else. And the manager was trying to say something, and the employee just goes, fine, then you can go somewhere else. And the manager goes, I will handle your pizza. What did you want? And I told her, and I said, and I want light sauce. I said, I don't want a can dumped on it, which is what this pizza looked like. It looked, because you could tell that it was sauce, like soaking through the crust. And so I really appreciate the fact that, because the Domino's that's near us is pretty much a carry out delivery. I don't know if other places are different, but there's no place to really sit in Domino's to eat. And so she had me stay in the store, and she's like, she put the sauce on it, and she says, she started out very, very light. I said, you could put like maybe the same amount on it again, and then that's perfect. And the employee goes, that's not enough sauce. And she tried to take the pizza away from the manager And the manager goes, you need to go find something else to do because I'm handling this. Why don't you go take care of some sort of cleaning? She's like, because I'm the employee, I make the pizzas. And the lady's like, you're going to go over here and we're going to have a chat as soon as I'm done with this pizza. I guarantee the lady was fired. But I'm like, all you had to do was let the manager fix the pizza. All she had to do before getting the manager involved was fix the pizza. So after that, Sam and I haven't been back to Domino's for pizza. We'll get their wings because their wings are great. We love their wings. Where's my super nest? I know you took it. That means I'm not telling in sister speak. So I'm sure that that's what that gift card is from. But I just find it funny that I held on to a gift card with a penny on it. Maybe that penny will make all the difference. Maybe that penny will mean that I don't have to dig in my purse for a whole bunch of change. Maybe that penny will, I don't know why I have the gift card with a penny on it. I find it entertaining. Oh, um, I don't know. If you've never live streamed before, it's an experience to live stream. And then when you're used to having someone to feed off of, just talking by yourself can be very, very difficult. So if sometimes you think, well, wow, she lost her train of thought, it's because I'm trying to keep up a one-sided conversation. Mondays and Thursdays, I'm live streaming at 9 Central. If you want to come hang out with me, you are always more than welcome. I go off topic a lot. If there is a topic, maybe I need to just figure out a topic, and that way I have a topic to think about, and then I can go off topic and have lots of things to talk about. It has been almost an hour. We have been live streaming for 53 minutes. And it doesn't really seem like that long. I looked at the computer, I'm like, wow, it has been that long. So things that are coming up on the channel. As you know, I have daily videos that go up, except for days that I live stream, which are Mondays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Saturdays are some sort of travel-related video. I am excited. Sam and I, at the end of the month, are going to be going to the pumpkin farm and getting some pumpkins. So that's exciting. And then something that Sam and I have never done before. I remember doing it once when I was very little. I was maybe in first or second grade because I asked my mom, and she's pretty sure it was first or second grade. We are going to a Christmas tree farm this year. We have never done that since we've been married. We've always we had a live tree one year, and it wasn't shook out very well it's called Trees for Troops. If you don't know what that is, it is where Christmas tree farms donate live trees to the military. And E1 to E4, which is what they call lower enlisted, can be recommended by their unit to receive a free Christmas tree. And the year that Sam did chemo, we were the recipient of a tree. And they didn't shake it out well, and there was some sort of something in it, and Rolly, who was our kitty before Peaches, ate it and got sick. And so after that, we've been really cautious about having a live tree. But we figure that going to a Christmas tree farm where they have to shake it really well will really help with that. So that we're going to with having a floor furnace, Christmas live trees don't last a whole long time in our house. We can get about a month out of it with having a floor furnace. And so sometime right around Thanksgiving, we are going to go to the Christmas tree farm and pick out a live tree, and definitely we'll be vlogging that, and we're really excited about that. It's something that we've never done. It's something that we've talked about several different times. And we decided that this is the year that we are going to do that. And so we're both looking forward to that. We're really looking forward to going to the pumpkin farm. That's something that Sam and I have done once since we have been back home from the Army, and that's been 10 years. So there's a lot of things that we're doing this year that we haven't done in quite a while, or that we've done ever. Sam's never been to a Christmas tree farm, or at least he hasn't since we've been married. And I haven't been since I was really little. So we are really excited about those things that are coming up. I am doing I'm working on videoing it. I'm doing a couple mini series for the travel Saturdays and Tuesdays called This Is My Town. And so I'm videoing and sharing with you some of my favorite spots here in Hillsboro. And I will be videoing and sharing some of my favorite spots with you in Marion, which is where my parents live, which is where I grew up. I'll share with you some of my favorite places there. I thought it would be a really fun way for you to get to know me a little bit better. And when you're nicer to me, I'll tell you where your stupidness is. Oh, Donkey Kong Country? I wasn't just supposed to be hitting the the button. I think you died. I'm sorry. I think I messed up your game. Um and now I just lost my train of thought. Now I have to actually look at my phone, see what I have a Google Doc sheet, and I will show it to you. Literally, I have a Google Doc sheet of what video goes up when, and that way I know what I'm supposed to be doing at any given time. So, like, I'm down into the end of August. I'm really excited for my video that's coming out on August 30th. I won a copy. It's called an ARC, and that stands for Advanced Reader Copy of a book from J.C. Eaton. It's the next book in her Sophie something series. But it's called A Broadcast for Murder, and it's available for sale in October 27th, if I remember correctly. But I am one of 12 bloggers or vloggers who won a free copy to be able to read and give you a review of. And so August 30th, you will be getting a review of that book. And so I'm hoping that you will get to start seeing some more of those ARC book reviews. And there was a lot of people who applied for it, because I'm in couple groups on Facebook that are run by the authors of the books. And they'll say, hey, I've got 10 ARCs, or hey, I've got 4 ARCs. And I've applied for a couple of them. And so I just randomly applied for it. And I got an ARC, and I was like, is this real? Like, that's awesome. And so I actually got it on Thursday, which was the first day of the yard sale. And so after I get my chores done for today, I'm going to spend the day and read the book and give you guys my review. So be watching for that video. I'm really excited about it. And then as far as travel videos go, we can't really go a whole lot of places. Like I said earlier in the stream, we would plan to go to the Kansas City Renaissance Festival. We had bought tickets to go twice, and they have canceled the event for this year. Want want. So we will not be able to go to that. So I've got lots of things to figure out because I was supposed to have 5 trips to Disney this year, and so that would have covered a lot of travel time. I may just have to do some other types of videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays, which is not what I want to do, but we'll also have to see what the school year brings. I may end up going back to only posting videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays. It all depends on what the school year looks like and how much I'm working. So I really appreciate you guys understanding and understanding that I may have to go from posting every day right now while we're all home to going back to only Tuesdays and Saturdays, or maybe doing Tuesdays and having one day a week, one like Saturdays or Tuesdays. I don't know what it's going to look like. It's something that I just have to work with as I know what's going on. So coming up, don't forget, next live stream is Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time, and we will see you in the live. Thank you if you are watching the replay. I greatly appreciate it, and we will talk to you all later.